What's up, Taiwan? How's it going? I'm Liao with 10 minutes of news from your Taiwan and around the world. A prominent economic think tank in Taiwan has downgraded its forecast for the country's GDP growth this year. The Zhonghua Institution for Economic Research cut its 2022 outlook by nearly 0.3 percentage points from its July prediction. It says it revised this year's forecast to 3.28% due to inflation and monetary tightening. The think tank also predicts GDP growth in 2023 will fall to 2.81%, mainly due to the impact of the U.S.-China tech war, which will most likely hit Taiwan's exports. Meanwhile, orders in September to China and Hong Kong recorded their biggest single-month drop since April 2009. Taiwan's economy ministry says this has been spurred by economic weakness both domestically and in end markets, as well as China's zero-COVID policy. The FIA Motorsport Games are back after a 2-year delay caused by the COVID pandemic. Drivers from Taiwan are heading to Marseille in France for this year's event. Yujing Huang reports.
The sports administration presents a flag to a team of 11 racing drivers who will represent Taiwan at the second FIA Motorsport Games in France. Among them, Evan Chen, a past winner of an international trophy. He's teaming up with his dad, Chen Wenge, for the event in Marseille in the south of France at the end of October.
我相信体能上没有什么问题，现在是在速度上要跟上我儿子，要稍微拼一下。
Team Taiwan will compete in 6 categories, including karting endurance. 4 drivers are teaming up for that event, all with karting experience in Taiwan.
甚至我们把这次比赛用的引擎也直接从爱尔兰空运客过来，就是希望我们可以在赛前就是先了解这台车子的战况如何。
But while the government gave the team a send-off, it doesn't provide any funding for racing. Regulations mean the Chinese Taipei Motorsports Association, which selected the team, is not recognized as a sports organization, so it has to rely on private companies for sponsorship. In some cases, the racers have to pay their way by themselves. Despite this, their spirits are high.
代表国家一定是很荣耀，责任感对我们来说会更重。
But there is hope. The official flag ceremony put on by the sports administration is a sign of growing recognition for motorsports in Taiwan. The government also promised to look for ways around the regulations. So maybe in the future, racers representing Taiwan will be celebrated as much the country's other sports persons. Damon Lin and Yujing Huang for TaiwanPlus.
New software has been developed that can translate Hokkien, one of the most widely spoken languages in Taiwan.
Liao and
hello and
the Universal Speech Translator allows speech-to-speech translation, which is key for Hokkien, a language with no standard writing system. Researchers used 30,000 hours of Taiwanese TV dramas to train the language model. Hokkien is a dialect of Southern Chinese that is also spoken in Taiwan and across Southeast Asia. The software was developed by Meta, the parent company of Facebook. One of Taiwan's biggest art shows is underway, Art Taipei 2022. This year's event focuses on sustainability. I went to the Taipei World Trade Center to get a first-hand look. One main focus of this year's show is sustainability. As you can see, there's artwork made from tires, botanicals, and rusted iron. The theme of sustainability is not just visible in the artwork. It's also an important factor in how they're running this year's show. They're working with the Gallery Climate Coalition, an organization that helps the art industry cut down on carbon emissions. One example, they're using lights that are specially designed to emit less heat. That means you can cut down on the air conditioning. By noon, a sizable crowd has filled the hall. Some people are looking to buy, but many are here to support artists.
我今天是想要来看一个艺术家叫 Fanco， 然后他是一个画狗仔的，因为我身上有他的刺青，所以想要来看他的画作本人这样。
我是来看那个梦里那兔的展览这样。对，因为他去年也是有来这边展览，所以我们去年、今年就是只要梦兔他有办展览的时候，我们都会过来支持这样。
In addition to art exhibits, there are also guided tours, lectures, and roundtable discussions. Whether you're buying, looking, or here to learn, there's a little something for everyone. Sometimes it takes an outside perspective to see something new. One British national who has lived in Taiwan for a decade makes painstakingly detailed hand-drawn maps of local cities and areas, some with a six-legged twist. Here's his story.
我来台湾差不多10年了。Within these 10 years, I've drawn Taipei, Dalian, Taichung, Hsinchu, Jiayi. Currently, I'm drawing Hamasing, which is part of Kaohsiung. There's also been a few smaller maps like Lesheng and Chanchushan. When I start a drawing, it's usually somewhere that I want to explore. So I begin to look at pictures, look at any interesting landmarks in that area. I start to walk around it, explore a bit. Eventually, I start to piece together a drawing in my mind. To the point I can't not draw it, it becomes almost like an obsession. Then I begin. 这个区有好多的日本时代的建筑，总统府、行政院、司法院，他们都有日性的 ，like see that。在第二次世界大战，总统府被破坏了。我觉得很少人知道，因为这个的历史不在台湾的课本。Originally, I was in quite a small room. I had a very small desk as well. I couldn't fit large pieces of paper on it. So I took lots of small pieces of paper and I'd stick them together to make the larger drawings. And I always really enjoyed that because you could kind of see the city growing in front of you. About 7 years ago, I told my family that I was ready to move back to England and ready to settle. But a couple of months after I told them that, I put the Taipei drawing up on Facebook just to see what happened. And I was very surprised because suddenly it was shared everywhere and a lot of people were commenting, a lot of people liked it. Some people invited me to exhibit it. I had to tell my parents, like, something's taken off here. I think I want to see where this goes. So I decided to stay in Taiwan and I was very happy that I did so. I'm naturally quite like a curious person. Walking around, I'd often be like, what is this place? What history is here? And so I'd learn a lot about Taiwan through that, and I generally feel like I knew the country a little bit better. When I'm not in the city, usually I like to go out to the mountains around Taipei. The insects were chosen especially because they're often like the most overlooked creatures of the forest. Most people pay more attention to the deer and the bears and this kind of thing, but I wanted something that is a little less visible. Taiwan has a quite vivid amount of insects and a lot of things that I've never seen before. You only find it in Taiwan. Stuff like the praying mantises, the locusts, the hornets, and especially sort of the giant spiders, which I'm both terrified of but also kind of fascinated by. The idea behind the insects was an expression of what I saw as the cities expanding continuously and in quite an unregulated way across not only Taiwan but a lot of countries. It was quite shocking how much of the forests and how much of the countryside has been lost even just 10 years. That's why the cities are sort of drawn across the insects, like taking over them. 其实台湾有很多很棒的大自然，我希望也透过我的创作来让更多人注意到环境保护的重要。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, we leave you with images of an Australia-based environmental artist who turns beach garbage into art. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.